Hello, hello, my friends. Why am I singing? Hello, hello, hello. Why am I singing? I don't know. Hi. How are you? Happy Friday. I am so excited for today's live. Let's see if people are here. Okay. Hi. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments that you're watching the replay. If you're joining live, also let me know in the comments and give me an emoji. I'm so excited for this today. It's 5 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock on a Friday. So I don't think a lot of people are going to be watching this live, which is cool. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to share with you some lessons that you can watch at any time and that are really, 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 really going to supercharge your business. So I'm so excited. Hi, whoever just joined. I'm so excited to share these lessons because these are easy ways for all of you to get more clients that a lot of people overlook. So I'm going to share with you one thing that you can do right now. All of you can actually do it all. That is really going to help you support, just get clients just in a much easier way. And the other thing that I wanted to share in this live, I can't remember how I titled it, but I was like, I need to share two things. It's not just going to be one, it's going to be two. So the other thing is, yes, how people are just starving for connection and how you can leverage that in your marketing. So two different topics on the same live. I don't care, breaking the rules of keeping it simple into one thing. So the thing that I wanted to share with you is actually a story of something that's happened to me over the past few weeks that helped me get like high-end clients without having to do much at all. Number one, are you giving your current clients the experience that make them rave about you? That is the easiest way to get more clients. So if currently you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to get the next client? How am I going to get the next client? My recommendation is that you focus on the clients that you currently have and you give them all you have to offer. And you serve them from like the deepest level of like your core, that literally they feel like loved, that they feel taken care of, that they feel like, oh my God, I want to sign up with her again, and I want to refer all my friends. That's actually what happened to me this week. I had a 90-minute intensive with a client, and then she was like raving about it, and then all of a sudden her friend was like, hey, I want to work with you. Boom. Literally. And I just showed up in those 90 minutes and I delivered like the best, everything that she needed. We like covered it. Even before the 90 minutes, she was like, I literally got everything I needed. And I made sure that I went prepared and that I served and that I like went all in and I didn't hold back. And so that what creates a sense of like, wow, I feel taken care of. And I think that's what's missing a lot in this current space because we're so focused on how are we going to attract clients? What's the next client attraction, technique or strategy? And then we forget that like we already have clients right now that we just need, even if it's just for a 90-minute intensive, even if it's just for like one coaching session, but are you showing up being the kind of coach that people don't want to shut up about? That is something that a lot of people don't talk about. And to me, that's actually part of my process of what I teach people is how are you onboarding? How are you treating your clients in a way that's going to make them fall in love with you and want to sign up with you again? Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to check for comments and see if you guys are sharing any questions. Let me know if you have any questions around that topic or if you want any specific tips. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Rosemary. Oh, hi. Yeah, it's Saturday in Australia, probably. I can imagine. Okay. So ways that you can do that, ways that you can make clients fall in love with you. Number one, if you're scheduling calls with clients for like intensives or even just for your coaching calls, like show up prepared, show up like having, thought about your client, like, okay, where are we at? Look at your notes, like be like all in when your client is there, like really show up being like fully on board with what they're dealing with. Because sometimes like we just kind of show up and we're like, oh yeah, whatever. And then it just comes across as, are you present? Our clients are like wondering like, are you here? Are you present? So it's super, super important that we come prepared and that we like really wrap up the call saying, cool, this is what we went over. These are your next steps. How do you feel? Like, is there anything else? And if they're like have more questions, you can decide if you want to answer them then or not. But the important thing is kind of recapping and like showing up really being fully present. Another thing that I love doing when I onboard clients is sending like a questionnaire where they tell me like what, like their vision. We come up with their vision, with their goals, with everything, so that they feel like they have a starting point and they're ready to go. So it's important to onboard clients in a way that makes them feel like, okay, we're not just kind of winging it on like lesson or coach or call number 1 or lesson 1. Like there's like a plan, there's a little bit of like a structure, so that they feel like you're guiding them. Another thing I love doing is sending clients a present when they enroll with me, like on my one-on-one. So I send them a best self journal where they can keep track of their goals. And, you know, you don't have to do this, but I think it's just, and I surprise them. I don't even tell them that they're going to receive it. They just get it. And so it's a nice surprise and people feel like, oh, cool. Like, thank you. That's something special, something different that people feel good about. Another thing that I would recommend is check in with your clients. Like after you work with them for like a couple of months, if you have a 6-month program, check in with them 3 months in and ask like, hey, how are you feeling? Hey, is there anything that's working for you that's not working for you, so that we can adjust? Like, how's everything going? Like, how do you feel right now? Because a lot of the times people don't do that. And then clients start kind of feeling like, oh, is this for me? Or is this not for me? Is this working? Whatever. And so if you take the leadership role and you're like, hey, how is it going? How are we doing? Let's recalibrate. Is everything good? How can we make it better? Then they feel supported. Then you can tweak and change and then just make any adjustments according to however much time you have left working together. All right. So that was one thing that I wanted to share in terms of how to make, how to dazzle your clients so that you don't have to always be looking for new clients, but you're just giving people an amazing experience. Like with all my one-on-one clients, I like show up fully and my one-on-one clients re-sign with me and they're like, I just love the support that you give me, right? Like I check in with them. If I haven't heard from my one-on-one clients, I'm like, hey, is everything okay? Just checking in. Boom. That to people, it like makes their day, I think. And I do it because I would love my one-on-one coach to do that, right? And like a couple of my coaches haven't done it and some have. And it just makes it makes it so different when people, even if you don't have a problem, but if someone's checking in saying like, hey, how are you doing throughout the week? It literally like makes you stand out. It makes people, it's the tiny little things, it's like when you're dating someone and it's not that they have like, it's not the big things that matter, it's not like the big things that matter. It's just like the tiny little things. Like the other day I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I just love when you're not traveling and you're here because you feel, this is the silliest thing. You guys are probably going to laugh, but I was like, I just love you so much because I know you're home when you feel the soap, the hand soap filler, and like you fill it up with soap. Like it makes me feel so loved because like I just never do that shit. And he like always takes the time to like feel like the hand soap bottle, like the container when we ran out of soap. Of hand soap. And I'm like, I just love you so much. Thank you. It's like the silliest shit. But especially as women, we care about those things, right? So what are the little things that you're doing in order to like really keep track of your clients? And yes, that requires you to like have your shit together and have like client notes. Like I organize my clients in Asana or in my Google Drive. Like I'm in order, but it is important that you kind of have some of that in place because like that is the easiest way to retain clients and get referrals. And that's a lot of like people don't think about that. Let me know if you have any questions so far. So now I'm moving on to the second part of this Facebook Live. People are starving for connection and leaders who have depth. How to leverage that to attract high value clients. So we're shifting gears here. We're shifting gears here and we're going to talk about messaging. So this is about messaging now. So here's the thing. I know a lot of you are here because you want to write better content, you want to connect with your ideal clients, and you want to, have a marketing that really speaks to the right people. And there are a lot of elements that go into that. And if you want support around crafting your unique message and standing out in front of, the marketplace, like, let me know. I'm be more than happy to help you. That's my zone of genius. But here's what I want to tell you that is actually makes marketing much simpler than what people out there make it out to be. We think that marketing and sales is like the cycle of like, people don't like marketing and sales. Sales feel pushy. A lot of people have like a weird connotation. And then marketing is just like, oh, I have to sell myself. Oh, I have to like push this down people's throats. I have to blah, blah, blah. And I don't see marketing and sales as that. I see marketing and sales as the full like cycle of giving and receiving. Marketing is giving value. Sales is like receiving value. Like when you make a sale, you receive the value back. And even in your sales process, even in my sales process, like I give a lot of value to people and they can even go away and implement what I tell them on their own. But normally they're like, oh my gosh, you blew my mind. Like I want to work with you because like that was amazing. Let's do it. Right? So it's not even about like just getting value back in sales because you're also giving value, but it's about like shifting your perception around marketing and sales and just like seeing how is a full cycle of giving and receiving. So when you shift your mindset and think about marketing and sales in that way, you want to start thinking about like, wow, if I'm here to give value as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if my only job is to give value, then it's so much easier for me to connect with people. Because all I need to think about is how are you feeling today? How can I speak to your heart and soul? Because people are starving for leaders who take the time to actually understand them and to stand in their world and who have empathy. So part of like my frameworks and my formulas when it comes to writing content that I give to my one-on-one clients, one of the steps is empathize. Because empathy, if you are able to like really feel into what's your ideal client feeling and thinking and like what's their experience of life, if you just do that, you're going to have a completely different experience when it comes to writing content because you feel like, oh my gosh, I know what you need to hear from the bottom of my heart. Like I feel you, I empathize with you. And then when people read that, they're going to feel like nobody else gets them more than you. And as I said, people are starving for connection. People are starving to feel understood. People are isolated. We're all isolated in our own little rooms, in our own phones, in our own worlds, thinking that we only we have the problem that we think we have. That we are the only ones experiencing this pain. That we're the only ones experiencing this, stress, whatever it is, or those specific things that you really want to understand about your ideal client. We think that we're the only ones. And when you come out with your marketing and you're like, hey, you're not alone. Like, I know how that feels because I've been there or because my clients have been there and I've supported them through that. It's so potent. It's so powerful. And that's why my content works. It's because I'm not manipulating people. I'm not like pushing them. I'm just literally speaking to their heart. And it took me a while to like understand my ideal clients. It took me a while but I did the work and then now the marketing just works, right? So I'm just going to see if you guys have any questions here. Okay, no questions so far. So that's what I really want you guys to take away from marketing. It's not just like manipulating people. It's just really standing in your truth and like with empathy, sharing with them like, hey, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be where you're at. Like, and be specific about what you understand. So like, I know that you wake up every morning and the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, did I make the right decision by starting this business? Or like, I don't know if I can get up today and like turn on the camera and do a video because I feel anxiety. I don't even know what I want to talk about. And you kind of doubt your value and you feel like you're not good enough and that there are other people out there doing it better than you. When in fact, you're really good at what you do. Marketing is just not the thing that comes natural to you, right? Like if I am talking to my clients in that way, they'll be like, yes, that's me. Yes, that's me. And then if I empathize with what they're going through, even if I create a post today and people don't read until like 9 months from today, like if they just go, imagine somebody landing on my profile and then just binging on all my content, that's going to speak to them. And then they'll be like, oh my gosh, we need to work together. Or how can I work with you? That is what happens to me all of the time. So my message for you today is remember that marketing is not as impersonal as we make it out to be. It's a soul connection that you get to have with your ideal clients. You just have to remove all the shoulds and just like really stand in their world and feel their current situation and remind them that you believe in their vision, that you believe more maybe than what they believe in right now, because maybe they don't believe in themselves too much. Maybe they're like scared, you know? So your job also in your marketing is to remind them like, I know you can do this. I believe in you. Yes, there are some things that you don't know, and I'm here to help you with that. So like, remind them that they are capable of doing this, because when we use fear-based marketing strategies like fake urgency or like installing fear in people, that just creates more insecurity. In my experience, at least, it just creates insecurity, and people, insecure buyers, they don't buy. So you want to make them feel like, hey, you are capable of doing this. Like, we're going to do this together. You're going to do it whether you like it or not. Like, I believe in you. But if you want to get results faster, if you want to speed up the time that it takes you to get from A to B, let's work together, you know? All right, so I'm going to check on some comments. What's the best way to access and create elegant vulnerability content? Okay, elegant vulnerability content. Great question, Chris. So elegant vulnerability is so important, especially if you guys are doing the Expose Your Truth challenge, because there's a very fine line between exposing our truth and being vulnerable online and then being a hot mess and coming from a place of victimhood. So the way that I like to measure elegant vulnerability is think about a story where you feel a little bit uncomfortable sharing, okay? For me, let's just say the story with my mom. You know, like she almost had an abortion and she abused me and all of that, you know. But you want to quickly get into the lessons that you learn from that experience very quickly. Don't stay in the wound and in the victimhood. Don't be all like, I'm the victim of this situation. Shift it into what are the lessons that I learned. You want to shift into a place of power. And so the way that I like to think about this is when I'm reading the post, if I'm like writing and I just write, I don't edit, I just write, and then I just start like thinking, am I being helpful? Am I being helpful? Is this serving anyone other than me? Am I coming from a place of like blame? Is there any blame or any like emotion that's like stuck in me that I'm like trying to justify here? Or am I just coming from a clean place? Like, these are the facts. This is what happened. This is what I learned. This is the lesson that I want to give you. Like, it's like you're not emotionally attached to like the situation. You've kind of healed what's in the past. And so you want to talk about it from like, yes, this is vulnerable for me to share. And this is exactly like, these are the lessons that I'm getting. Like one day I had a post that literally got me a $54,000 client. And she said to me, I read that post and that's what made me want to sign up with you. So those were her words. And it was titled like, I betrayed my intuition and now I'm paying the price. And the second line was, these are the lessons that I want to share with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I've made when it comes to doing blah. And then I kind of get into the story, but I'm like in a place of power. I'm not just like, I can't believe this person fucked me over. Like, no, because that's not true. Like, I would be giving my power away if I was to blame somebody for my circumstances. No, like, you get to take personal responsibility and radical responsibility for the situation by saying like, yes, this happened. And I am now in a place of like, I took my power back and these are the lessons that I want to share with you so that you learn from my mistakes. Does that make sense? Your day 14 post, I think. I have to remember, I don't know what my day 14 post was. I think it's elegant vulnerability, I guess, obviously. But I don't know exactly what that was. So I think it's just thinking about the stories that you feel like are a little bit edgy to share, but that you can share from a place of power. You know, am I being helpful? What are the lessons that I can share with my audience? Because at the end of the day, you guys, exposing your truth is only one element of what it means to have like a magnetic content trifecta, which is how I call it, which is like the content that really speaks to your audience and makes them want to buy from you. So exposing your truth is basically talking about your values, your stories, what you believe in, what you don't believe in, right? It's just more like your approach, your personal philosophies, right? Like what you stand for, what you're about, your vibe, right? Like your truth. Now, the other part is talking about educating and enrolling people. So content that's educational and that it's actually like offers. So that's another thing that the Expose Your Truth Challenge doesn't cover. But I want to share with you, like, you can't, like, that is also important. Like, if I was to go back and do my Exposure Truth Challenge, I'll probably add way more content that was specifically for, like, educational. Like, okay, guys, like, here are something, do you have this problem? And, like, empathize with people, then share with them how you can help with that problem, and then make an invitation for them to work with you. Like, I would do a lot more of that, because at the end of the day, people care about themselves. They don't really, honestly, people don't give a shit about us. Like, you don't really care about me. Like, let's be real. I know that you're in my group and we're all good, and like, yes, this is awesome. But you didn't join this group because you were like, I love Juliana and I just want to, like, you know, just join this group. Like, you were like, I want to build my business. I want to get more clients. Like, Juliana's cool, so I'm into that. But I just care about my business. You care about what you want, right? And that's okay. That's just how we work. So you want to create stories that help your ideal clients see, or help your ideal clients in a certain, in any way. So instead of just being like self-centered, self-focused, we want to make sure that our stories are also captivating them and inspiring them to move from one point to another, based on our experience. Does that make sense? Okay. A mentor once taught me, your stories feature you, but are about them. Amen. Yeah. Like, we are not meant to be the heroes of our of our journey. We're meant to, I learned this from one of my mentors, who wrote a book called Story Brand. Imagine, like, your brand message is actually not about you. It's more about your ideal clients being the hero of their journey. So you're the guide. So imagine a movie, right? Like Star Wars. Then what's the hero? Oh, anyway, that's a bad example because I don't know all the character names. But there are always like heroes in the movies, but they have guides. Like Neo, right? Like Neo from The Matrix. He is like the star, and then the dude Morpheus, he's like the guide, right? You don't want to be Neo. You don't want to act as if you were the Neo of people's movies, because they want to be Neo. They want to be the attractive character. They feel like they want to be the heroes of their own movie, aka their lives, right? So you just come in here with your story saying like, hey, I know how you're feeling. I've been there. Or here are some things about me that make me not so perfect, but these are the lessons that I learned, and I want you to implement those lessons so that you can be the hero of your movie. Does that make sense? Instead of being like, so that would be like Elegant Vulnerability vibes, right? Versus like, I have to like tell you about this crazy thing that happened, and it was his fault, and it was me, and blah, 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 blah. The end. There's no value given there. Okay, does that make sense? So like, just always stand, and this is a really good exercise for all of us to like remember, like, am I standing in my power? Am I really standing in a place where I'm sharing with people like from the most powerful place? Still opening up, still being vulnerable, but giving value. Cool. Yoda. Hi Jessica, how are you, my love? Okay, so that's what I had for you guys today. I can't believe that all of you joined. It's like 8 people here. I mean, hello, it's Friday night. I mean, it's kind of, I guess it is not very sunny out there. So I hope that you guys are having an amazing rest of your day and that you had an amazing week. I had an amazing week last week. Great week today. Great week this week as well. But yesterday I actually had like yesterday, you guys, I was a hot mess. Yesterday I was like, I don't know what this is. I had like a breakdown. It was, but that's just part of being an entrepreneur. And like, I didn't let that hold me back from showing up today, serving my clients at the deepest level, like all the things, and just like getting back on the train. Like, we all have those days when we're just like a hot mess. That's okay. It's okay to be a hot mess. It's allowed. Life is meant to be 50-50. It's not always meant to be perfect. And when we relax into knowing that that's just how it is, it's just like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, there's going to be negative emotion. There's going to be positive emotion. And this is just going to be 50-50. It's just so much better, right? So just wanted to let you know, if you're, for whatever reason, are having one of those shitty days, don't worry. I had one yesterday. I survived, and it's all good. And I'm back in the game. All right, loves. Have an amazing night. I can't believe it's a Friday midnight, Chris, and you're here. You are a nerd. All right, my loves, have an amazing rest of your day and have a great weekend. Mwah. Bye.